how do I get access to
Hi
something
there,
like
this is
this? Like,
Dr.
how could I
DeAndrea
be speaking
Matthews.
on a
I'm going to be
platform
going
that's like
live on the Black
hundreds of
Speakers
people
Network in
watching this
just a
now? It's going
moment,
to be
so hang
thousands
in
of
there and
people
you'll get to see my
watching the
speech
replay. This
firsthand.
is how you launch a brand if I've never seen it before. So I'm just going to share my screen really quick. I know we got Marshall Fox
Hi
on
there,
here
Quishar.
earlier. Marshall, if you
Just
want to
letting you guys
say
know I'll
something,
be
you don't
going
have to.
live soon on the
I'm not
Black
putting you on the
Speakers
spot. But
Network,
if you
so
wanted
you
to,
guys get to see
I'm going to
firsthand
your
what's
website
going
just right
on.
now, just to let
Hey
people
there.
know. First of
Thanks
all,
for joining. So
this
if
is
you give
how
me just
much
a
we
few minutes,
value
we'll be
this
going
partnership
live
with
soon,
120 Design
and
Studio. We have
you'll be
our
able to
own
catch everything
dedicated landing page
firsthand.
on their website. And so,
So right now we're just
as you can
transitioning
see,
between
120 Design
speakers,
is
and
the
I'm up
official
next. Hey there,
capital
Shania.
letters
Thanks for
platinum
joining.
platform partner of Black Speakers Network. And
If you
we
are
are
a
here to
speaker, by the
equip
way,
and
and you're not a
inspire
part
the
of the
next
Black
generation
Speakers
of black
Network,
professional
you really
speakers. And
should
so,
join.
if you're
It's an
interested in
awesome
learning
platform. It's an
about
awesome group,
how
and
to
they have
get your
speakers
own
at least
elite
3 times a
speaker
week
kit,
sharing wonderful
these
information.
kits,
So just a quick
you just
sidebar.
see the quality. They are worth easily a few $1,000s. He has a special offer just for the Black Speakers Network community, and you can get them for just $500 for 2 payments of 300. You just go to 120designstudio.com/BSN. Now, why am I bringing that up right now? Well, because Marsha and I have already decided that we're going to have a part two. We're going to have another Elite Speakers Summit, and the date for that is going to be announced super soon. But if you're watching this live and you're like, man, I wish I was speaking today, I wish that, I had an updated EPK. I did mine in Canva back in the 90s. Don't worry about it. We got you. Go to the website, go to 120designstudio.com/BSN and make sure that you are able to jump into the next cohort. And so let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. I'm super excited about our next speaker. We are just crushing through these topics with so much information to share. I already mentioned the fact that we're doing this giveaway. And so if you want a free copy of the Speak Up book, we're giving away 9 of them a day. Share your aha moment on Facebook and do the hashtag, use the hashtag BSN Elite Speakers to enter for a chance to win. Okay, so hang on, let me make sure. Let me just make sure we're covered. Is this helpful so far? Is everybody having a good time? Great. Comments. I love seeing the comments. I love seeing what people are learning. So please continue to share those in. Okay, so we are going to Dr. D. Dr. D. Andrea Matthews. She is Dr. Let me make sure I say this right. Dr. DC Matthews on Instagram. That's right. So please go ahead and follow her. Make sure that you are connected. And so we're talking about create by design, not by default. Dr. D is in the building. Now, in this session, Dr. D is going to show you how your adversity can help you to become your greatest possible self. Obviously, we all go through challenges, we all go through hardships. And so we want to talk about how you can take the power back and just not be a victim of circumstance, but actually transform that into something that can put you further ahead than you thought. So, through the power of intentionality, you can create your story, inventory, and use storytelling to enhance the outcomes and transform your business. Now, I know we have a lot of people watching this who aren't speakers, but if you are definitely a speaker, you really need to tune in to what Dr. D is about to say, because all we do is tell stories and make a point. Tell stories and make a point. And so, if that is you, I'm super excited to turn you over to Dr. D and get ready to learn how to do this.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello.
All right, just waiting to start the video.
Yes, you can go ahead and start your video while you're coming up. I'm going to unshare my screen. I'll send you a little request, and then the floor is yours. Thank you so much again for joining us today. I'm super excited about this topic.
Wonderful. Well, hello to the Black Speakers Network and everyone joining us today. My topic, like he said, is create by design, not by default. And I love this quote from Zora Neale Hurston. It says, if you are silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. Now, that quote by Zora Neale Hurston epitomizes the importance of sharing your story from your perspective and through your lens. So, there's a story that some of you may have heard about an egg, a carrot, and a coffee bean. Now, if you've heard that story already, go ahead and drop it in the comments and let me know. But when boiled in hot water, an egg turns from liquid to hard boiled. In life, there are people who, when things get hot, turn from having a heart of flesh to having a heart of stone. It becomes hardened from pain, from trials, from suffering. Now, with the carrot, when a carrot is uncooked, it's hard. If you tap that carrot on the counter, for example, it makes some noise. But if you boil that carrot in hot water for too long, it turns to mush. A person, like the carrot, can start out tough, but over time become silenced from staying in hot water too long. The last one is a coffee bean. Unlike the egg or the carrot, the coffee bean is the only one that, when placed in boiling water, does not change itself, but changes its environment. I'm here to tell you that I have been all three. Through adversity and pain, my heart turned hard like the egg through unforgiveness and bitterness. I've suffered abuse, and it caused me to lose my smile, which is one of my best assets. But I'm happy to say that I've gotten my smile back. I've also been the carrot that, after being in a hot mess for too long, was silenced. I was made to feel that I didn't matter and my voice did not matter. But today, I stand before you as the coffee bean, chocolate brown and a little round. It is the only one that is transformational, and that's what I want to share with you today. You can take your experiences, change the environment, and transform your adversity into the best part of your story. In this world, you want to show determination, you want to show resilience, which is how you create by design and not by default. My name is Dr. DeAndrea Matthews, and I am a strategic storyteller. As the founder and CEO of Claire Alden Publications, I provide education, resources, and professional services to first-time authors from underrepresented backgrounds in an effort to diversify the publishing industry. Why is that important to me? We need more African American authors telling our own stories. You see, storytelling can enhance the outcomes in any industry. It allows you to use yourself in relevant examples to help to bridge the gap between your audience's current thinking and where you desire for them to be in order to embrace their best life. When you create by design, you need three things. The first thing that you need is to be intentional. When you are intentional with the information you share, you decide which stories that you can share with your audience in order to bring them to the outcome that they desire. For this, I use what's called a story inventory. Now, the story inventory is really just a list of stories that you can refer to at any time, whether it's as you're preparing your speech, as you're preparing to give a presentation at your job. You can refer to a story inventory for so many different things. But creating that story inventory means having a list of stories from your life that you can draw upon to make connections with your audience. For example, if I wanted to talk to someone about mentorship, as Director of Diversity and Inclusion, I get paid to mentor first-generation low-income students through medical education in order to become physicians. So I can create stories around that to be able to talk about mentorship. Another example is regarding home ownership. If I'm talking to a group of individuals about real estate or about ownership, I own my own home since I was 20 years old. My family owned multiple homes on the same street. So I can use that example from my story inventory to tell people about ownership or about real estate. My final example for creating a story inventory is regarding productivity. So if I'm sharing with someone about productivity or about getting things done, time management, any of those things, I can talk about my own experience, because after being out of school for 6 years, I went back to college, got not only a second bachelor's degree, but I got a master's degree and a doctorate, all while working full time, being a wife, and taking care of 5 children. So I can knock productivity out the park. Now, having a story inventory with information like that allows you to create memorable connections with your audience. That's important because you want to be memorable. You want to be able to stand out to your audience because, particularly in a full lineup of speakers, you want to be memorable. You want people to remember your name. You want people to remember different aspects of your story and what you shared. And event planners love that. And just like one of our previous speakers talked about, you want to increase your rehire rate as a speaker. The second point I want to talk about as we're looking at creating by design is being proactive. When you are proactive, you do not wait until somebody Googles you and finds out unflattering information about you or anything that might cause you any type of shame or embarrassment. When you are proactive, you can say, yes, I did that. It was an unfortunate situation, but I'm so glad that I'm wiser now. So that's important that you be able to craft your own story and be proactive about it, not only for those who may have a police record, not only for those who may have been homeless or experienced something that society frowns upon, but you too can be proactive and tell your own story and set the record straight, regardless of what you've been through. My third point for creating by design and not by default is to be prepared. When working with first-time authors on their memoirs, which is a part of what I do as a hybrid publisher, I encourage them to create a memory list. So the first tool that we talked about is a story inventory, and now we're talking about a memory list. Two very important tools, but slightly different. With your memory list, a memory list is just a list of 3 to 5 phrases for different memories that you've recalled from your life. Now, with memoirs, you want to be able to take that information and pull it together in a way that's meaningful for your audience because, again, a memoir is nonfiction, and nonfiction books help someone to solve a problem or provides a solution. So if I'm talking about creating a memory list, depending on my audience, I can pull things from my own story. I can talk about, if I'm looking at a group of college students, I can talk about getting pregnant my freshman year at college. I can talk about failing my first exam and the impact that that had on me as a straight A student throughout most of my life. I can talk about being divorced with 2 kids by the time I'm 21, when most people haven't even thought about marriage by that age. There's so much in your own story that you can share, that you can talk about, and be able to draw people into those experiences. And again, whether you are limited with the time that you have to share and you decide just to give some basic pointers, just like I just did, without digging deeper into the story, or if you have more time and you want to dig down deeper. For example, when I talk about failing my first exam, I was a straight A student in school, and I don't know how many of you can relate to that. If you can, drop it in the comments and let me know. But coming from being a straight A student and failing my first exam when I got to my freshman year in college, I failed a chemistry test. Now, mind you, the professor had on the syllabus that, okay, he dropped the lowest test score. So I think I got a 43% on that first chemistry exam. So, okay, drop the lowest test score. I'm good as long as I can bring my grade up for the remaining exams. Well, guess what? The very next exam in that chemistry class, my grandmother died the day of the exam. So of course, I leave school, drive back home to be with my family, which means that I then got a 0 on that second exam. So even though I knew in advance, yep, dropped the lowest test score, my lowest test score ended up being a 0. So that 43% actually counted, and I got less than a C in that class. So that was my first time getting, again, below an A, but definitely did not want to get a C minus in that class. So you can use your stories to go as deep as you want to, depending on the time frame, or you can be as superficial as you want to. But the point is creating these emotional connections with your audience, and you are in control of that. The stories that you tell may change, but your message does not. So as a speaker, be intentional. Create your story inventory. Have a list of stories depending on the topic that you can then go back and relate to. And this can be a fun activity that you can do. And as you're sitting down, just jotting down again different stories that you can pull into depending on the audiences that you're talking about, whether it's a very niche audience or whether it's a much more broader subject that you're dealing with. Be proactive. Tell your own story. Whatever happened in your life, whatever you want to emphasize, whatever is important to you to get across for the particular topic that you're talking about, you tell your own story, and that's being proactive. And then the third point that I mentioned is being prepared. Create that memory list. We tend to forget all the things that we've overcome until it's relevant. So don't forget everything that you've come through up until this point, because all of those things have made you into who you are today. Your adversity has made you stronger, and your story matters. Now ask yourself, will you be the egg? Will you be the carrot? Or will you be the coffee bean? Whatever you decide to do, I want you to be your authentic self. That's what audiences want to see. That's what people want to see. Even if you're just building your brand, people want to see the behind the scenes. They want to see who you are when the cameras aren't on. They want to see who you are when it's not a wonderful speaker one sheet. And Marshall Fox has done an excellent job with his team in creating those speaker one sheets and electronic press kits. But be your authentic self. Like hot water, adversity has the power to transform. So use storytelling to enhance your outcomes and transform your business. So what I'd like for you to do is whenever you pass by a coffee shop or whenever you drink a cup of coffee, remember that you can be that coffee bean. You can be transformational, and you can create by design and not by default. Creating by default simply means that whatever happens, happens. You're just kind of going through life. You don't really have an aim. You may have some goals, but like Pat just said, if you're not working on it, if you're not being very intentional in each quarter, setting that goal, having milestones to make sure that you're almost ready to reach that goal, keeping yourself accountable, then you do fall into that default stage. And we know that nothing grows in your comfort zone. So we don't want to operate in that default mentality. We don't want to operate in our comfort zone because we have some goals that we're trying to accomplish. So you want to be able to create by design and not by default. So thank you to Brian J. Oves and the Black Speakers Network for this opportunity. Again, my name is Dr. DeAndrea Matthews. I'm an international speaker and the author of 6 books, 5 book chapters, and 2 academic journal articles. I'll be launching the Overcomers Anthology Volume 2 starting June 1st. Volume 1 is available. It's actually coming this week. We're going to have our paperback copies this week so that everyone can get their copy. But if you're interested in being a co-author for the Overcomers Anthology Volume 2, I have a special that I want to tell you about, because if you contact me and you get your $100 non-refundable deposit in the next 24 hours, I'll give you an autographed copy of the Overcomers Anthology Volume 1. You'll be one of the first people to receive your copy. So I want to send you that free copy. Just reach out to me. Let me know if you're interested in being a co-author. Again, if you want to be an author, I can help you to tell your story. So just email me at info@clairealden.com or reach out to me at Dr. DC Matthews on any of our social media channels. Again, my name is Dr. DeAndrea Matthews, and it is my pleasure sharing with you today as a part of the Black Speakers Network Elite Speaker Summit.